I never thought our nice Saturday morning at the pond would end with my daughter who can't walk trapped in a burning boat. Karen, the mean lady who runs our neighborhood, had poured gas on it and lit it on fire herself. What she didn't know was that I'm a firefighter boss, and this was about to become her worst day ever. Before watching the whole story, write a comment below about where you're watching from. Also, hit like and subscribe for more stories about mean Karens. The morning sun felt nice and warm on my face as I pushed my daughter Lily's wheelchair down the quiet sidewalk of our neighborhood called Willow Brook. Lily, my sweet 12-year-old angel, looked up at me with her bright blue eyes and smiled. She was born with something that made it hard for her to walk or talk clearly, but she was still super strong and happy inside. "Daddy, boat, water," she said, pointing toward the small pond in our neighborhood park. "Yes, sweetheart, we're going. To see the ducks," I said back, gently squeezing her hand. This was what we did every Saturday. Lily loved watching the ducks swim around the pond. Every weekend we would sit by the water and she would laugh and giggle as the ducks played around. As we got close to the pond, I saw Karen Mitchell standing near the water with her usual angry face. Karen was the lady who was in charge of our neighborhood rules. She was about 50 years old with short gray hair and always looked mad about something. She always wore fancy work clothes and carried around a clipboard. Lily pointed excitedly at a small wooden rowboat tied to the dock. "Boat, Daddy. Pretty boat." The boat belonged to Mr. Johnson, a nice old man who sometimes took kids for rides around the pond. He had taken Lily on rides before, and she loved those times so much. "Maybe later, Lily. Let's watch the ducks first," I said quietly. But Karen had heard us talking. She walked over with her clipboard held up high. "Excuse me," Karen said in a mean voice. "That boat is against the rules. No one can use it without the right papers from the neighborhood bosses." I looked at her, confused. "Karen, Mr. Johnson has been using that boat for years. The kids love it. Things have changed. I'm the neighborhood boss now, and I say it's dangerous, especially for..." She stopped and looked down at Lily with a disgusted look. "Children like her." My blood started to get hot. "What do you mean, children like her?" "Kids who can't walk shouldn't be near water. It's too risky. What if something bad happens?" Lily's face got sad as she understood Karen didn't want her near the boat. Tears started forming in her sweet eyes. "Karen, that's completely wrong," I said, trying to stay calm for Lily. "I don't care what you think. I'm calling Mr. Johnson right now to make him take that boat away." Karen pulled out her phone. Lily started crying quietly. "Daddy, boat go away?" My heart broke seeing my daughter so sad. "No, sweetheart, the boat isn't going anywhere." But Karen was already calling. "Mr. Johnson, this is Karen Mitchell from the neighborhood bosses. That boat needs to go away today. It's dangerous." Over the next few days, Karen made our lives really hard. She sent us letters saying we broke rules for crazy things. Our grass was too long. Lily's wheelchair ramp didn't look pretty enough. Our mailbox was the wrong color. Each day, Lily would ask about the boat. Each day, I had to tell her it was gone. Mr. Johnson had to take it away after Karen said she would make him pay money if he didn't. The really bad part happened on Saturday morning. Lily and I were at the pond feeding ducks when Karen showed up with two men in suits. "There they are," Karen pointed at us. "The troublemakers." One man walked up to me. "Sir, I'm Inspector Williams from the county health people. We got complaints about you bringing your daughter here without a helper." "A helper? I'm her father. I'm right here." "The complaint says kids who can't walk need a professional helper near water." I couldn't believe it. That's crazy. There's no rule like that. Karen smiled in a mean way. "There is now. I asked the county to make new safety rules." Lily looked scared. She didn't understand what was happening, but she could feel something bad. "Daddy, bad lady angry," she whispered. "It's okay, baby. Daddy will fix this." But Karen wasn't done. "I think we should test how well she handles water problems." Before I could do anything, Karen grabbed Lily's wheelchair and started pushing it toward the dock. "Stop! What are you doing?" I yelled, running after them. "Just a safety test." Karen laughed in a crazy way. Karen pushed Lily's wheelchair onto the old wooden dock. The dock had been broken in a storm and had loose boards. "Karen, stop this!" I yelled, chasing after them, but Karen was moving fast. She got to the end where Mr. Johnson's emergency rowboat was tied. It was an old, dry wooden boat he kept for emergencies. "Let's see how your special disabled daughter handles a real emergency," Karen said meanly. She roughly picked up Lily from her wheelchair and put her into the boat. Lily was crying and calling for me. "Daddy, help, scared!" I was running fast, but the dock was long and Karen had gotten there first. Then something really scary happened. Karen pulled out a lighter and a container of gas. She had hidden this. "This will teach you never to fight the neighborhood bosses!" she shouted with a twisted smile. "Let's see how your disabled daughter handles this." Karen poured gas around the boat where Lily sat, terrified. "No, stop! What are you doing?" I screamed, running faster. "I'm setting this boat on fire with your disabled daughter in it," Karen yelled back in a crazy way. "Maybe this will teach you people to stay away." She flicked the lighter and on purpose set the boat on fire. The flames jumped up right away around Lily, who screamed in terror. The boat was now burning with my daughter, who can't walk, trapped inside. I got to the dock as flames got bigger. Without thinking, I jumped into the cold water and swam toward the burning boat. The water was cold and dark. I could hear Lily screaming over the crackling flames. My heart was beating so hard as I tried to reach her. "Hold on, Lily, Daddy's coming!" I reached the boat as flames spread to Lily's clothes. I grabbed her and pulled her into the water, keeping her head above the surface. "I've got you, baby. You're safe now," I whispered as we floated together. Lily was shaking and crying, but she was alive. That was all that mattered. I swam us to shore where neighbors had come to see what happened. Someone had called 911 and I could hear sirens coming. Karen stood on the dock, shocked at what she had done. The truth was hitting her. I didn't mean it. It was just to scare," she said, stuttering. The fire department came first. As firefighters put out the burning boat, Fire Chief Rodriguez came up to me. "Sir, are you and your daughter okay? Do you need a doctor?" "We're fine, Chief, but I need to tell you something important." I pulled out my wallet and showed him my badge. "I'm Fire Marshal David Thompson from the County Fire Department." Chief Rodriguez's eyes got wide. "Marshal Thompson, I've heard about your work. You've been cracking down on fire safety problems all over the county." "That's right. And what happened here was someone trying to murder by fire with a disabled child as the victim." Karen heard this and her face went white. You're a fire marshal?" she whispered, shocked. "Yes, Karen. I'm the county fire marshal, the same marshal who has the power to investigate fires, give out violation tickets, and work with police on criminal charges." Police came and arrested Karen for trying to murder, arson, putting people in danger, and hate crimes. As they put handcuffs on her, she stared at me in disbelief. "You set my disabled daughter's boat on fire with her in it," I said firmly. "You tried to burn a disabled child alive. You're going to jail." Lily, wrapped in a paramedic's blanket, looked up at me. "Daddy, bad lady go away now?" "Yes, sweetheart. The bad lady is going away for a long time. Over the next days, I started my official investigation as fire marshal. I had access to all Karen's neighborhood records and could check every property she managed. What I found was shocking. Karen had been breaking fire safety rules throughout the community. She had blocked fire exits in the community center, put in bad smoke detectors in rental homes, and ignored electrical dangers that could have killed families. I found out Karen had been being mean to other families with disabled members too. The Gonzalez family had been fined because their son with autism made noise during therapy. Mrs. Chin had been bothered for needing a wheelchair ramp. I talked to dozens of people who had been afraid to speak up against Karen's bullying. "She threatened to take our house if we complained," said Mrs. Patterson, whose grandson had Down syndrome. "She made our lives terrible because our daughter uses a hearing aid," added Mr. Williams. Every story made me more determined to get justice. The community center's fire exits had been locked during events. Smoke detectors hadn't been tested in years. Electrical systems were fire dangers waiting to happen. But the most disturbing thing I found was in Karen's home. In Karen's basement, I found dozens of files targeting families with disabled children. She had been planning step by step to force them out through harassment. The files had photos, medical information, and detailed plans for making each family's life terrible. One folder was labeled Eliminate the Burden Families. Another was titled Problem Children Removal Strategies. My hands shook reading her notes. The boat incident wasn't random. It was part of her planned campaign against families like ours. I called Detective Morrison, who was assigned to Karen's case. Detective, this isn't just trying to murder. This is a big hate crime conspiracy with detailed planning. When Detective Morrison saw the files, she was speechless. This woman is a monster. She's been planning attacks against disabled children for months. The evidence was overwhelming. Karen had broken federal disability rights laws, committed hate crimes, and put countless lives in danger. News of Karen's arrest spread quickly. The newspaper headline read, HOA president arrested for attempting to burn disabled child alive. The community's reaction was fast and heartwarming. Families came forward with their stories of Karen's harassment. The Johnsons revealed Karen had tried to ban their autistic son from the playground. The Millers shared how Karen demanded they move because their daughter's seizures were disruptive. But what touched me most was how the community came together around Lily and our family. Mr. Rodriguez gave materials to build a new dock. The neighborhood volunteered for construction. Mrs. Patterson organized a fundraiser for a new boat designed for children with disabilities. Lily deserves to enjoy the water safely, she said with tears. My fire department friends gave Lily an honorary junior fire marshal badge. You're the bravest girl we know, said Chief Martinez, pinning the badge on her shirt. Lily beamed with pride. I helped Daddy fight bad fires. You sure have, sweetheart. You've helped us fight the worst kind of fire, the fire of hatred. Karen's trial started 3 months later. The courtroom was packed with families and disability rights supporters. Lily, now confident again, testified using her communication board. Bad lady hurt Lily, fire scary, Daddy save me, Daddy hero. There wasn't a dry eye in the courtroom. The prosecutor showed overwhelming evidence, discrimination files, fire, safety violations, witness testimonies, and security camera footage. Karen's lawyer tried to argue it was a misunderstanding, claiming Karen was maintaining community standards. But the evidence was too strong. I testified about Karen's systematic crimes. This wasn't one incident. Karen Mitchell waged a campaign of terror against families with disabled children. She used her power to discriminate, intimidate, and ultimately attempt to murder an innocent disabled child by setting her boat on fire. The jury took less than 2 hours to decide. Guilty on all charges, the foreman announced. Karen's face crumpled as verdicts were read. Attempted murder, guilty. Arson, guilty. Reckless endangerment, guilty. Disability discrimination, guilty. Civil rights violations, guilty. Fire safety negligence, guilty. The judge sentenced Karen to 20 years in prison plus 10 years probation. She was ordered to pay $2 million in damages. Mrs. Mitchell, the judge said sternly, you deliberately set fire to a boat with a helpless disabled child inside, intending to burn her alive. Your actions represent the worst form of hatred and discrimination. This court finds your behavior disgusting and deserving of maximum penalty. As Karen was led away in handcuffs, she looked back at Lily one last time. My daughter sat proudly in her wheelchair, wearing her junior fire marshal badge, and simply waved. Bye-bye, bad lady. Learn to be good now, Lily said with simple wisdom. The months following the trial brought healing and positive change. The HOA elected new leadership who cared about making Willowbrook welcoming for all families. Lily thrived in the supportive environment. The new boat became her favorite weekend activity. Mr. Johnson moved back and resumed giving rides to children. Lily gets the first ride every Saturday, he announced with his warm smile. Lily's confidence grew daily. She joined the community center's adaptive sports program and made wonderful friends. The community center was renovated with proper fire safety equipment and accessibility features. As the fire marshal overseeing the project, I made sure everything met the highest standards. Lily helped me inspect smoke detectors. "Good beeping, Daddy?" she would ask. "Perfect beeping, sweetheart. Everything is safe now." Legacy of change. Our story inspired changes beyond Willowbrook. The state passed laws requiring HOA board members to receive disability awareness training. Fire safety codes were updated to include specific protections for individuals with disabilities. Lily and I were invited to the state capitol for the signing of Lily's law, legislation making it a felony to discriminate against disabled individuals in housing. As the governor signed the bill, Lily sat proudly on my lap. "This law is named after a very brave little girl," the governor announced. "Lily Thompson showed us that courage comes in all forms, and every child deserves to be safe and welcomed in their community." The crowd gave Lily a standing ovation. She waved and smiled. "I'm famous, Daddy," she whispered. "You're a hero, sweetheart. The best kind of hero." Years later, Karen wrote from prison expressing remorse and sharing how she was working with disability advocacy programs. Lily, with her incredible capacity for forgiveness, always responded with kindness. "Tell Karen that Lily forgives her and hopes she learns to be good," she would say. The pond area was renamed Lily's Place in honor of her courage. A memorial plaque read, "In honor of Lily Thompson, whose courage and love transformed our community and reminded us that every person deserves dignity, respect, and belonging." As I reflect on everything that happened, I realize the real victory wasn't Karen's imprisonment or legal justice. The true victory was our community's transformation and proof that love and courage triumph over hatred. Lily's unbreakable spirit not only survived Karen's attempt to destroy it, it became the catalyst for positive change, touching hundreds of lives. Karen had tried to eliminate burdened families from our community. Instead, she proved families like ours aren't burdens. We're sources of strength and positive change that make communities better and more compassionate. Every time I watch Lily laughing with friends on the boat at Lily's Place, every time I see her advocating for other children with disabilities, I'm reminded of a profound truth. Even in our darkest moments, the human spirit's capacity for love, forgiveness, and positive change is absolutely unbreakable. Karen thought she could break us with fire and hatred. Instead, she forged us into something stronger and more beautiful than we ever could have become without that test. That is our story's real legacy. Not the punishment of one hateful person, but the triumph of love, community, and the unbreakable human spirit over even the darkest forms of cruelty. And every day, watching my incredible daughter live with joy, courage, and boundless love for others, I'm reminded she was right from the beginning.